There you go. Your hips are getting better. You look like you're getting a little more comfortable. Try to look where you want to go. Good. And who? Good. Okay, so one thing to think about, since we are on a circle, is to think about putting your inside shoulder forward just a hair. That will help you
This one.
to, your inside shoulder.
Okay.
In riding, you'll find most instructors use inside or outside rather than left or right, because usually the riding instructor is in the middle of the ring, and rather than trying to remember when they're looking at you which right is and which is left, because sometimes when you've got multiple students it gets complicated, you'll find most riding instructors say inside or outside. So the inside one is the one that's towards the inside of the arena,
Makes sense.
and the outside one is the one to the outside of the arena, regardless of which direction you're going.
Okay.
Okay? Good. A little bit less. This is a big circle. There you go. Good. Good. You're getting back to a side to side.
Yeah.
Think about up and down. There. Good. It's easier to get into that side to side thing going down the hill because he's taking a bigger step, because in order to keep his balance, he has to take a bigger step underneath himself to stay in balance. Good. And ho. Good. You're keeping your legs just where I want them to be. Do you feel like that with having your toes down and no stirrups, how you can really wrap your leg around him?
Well, I'm trying to just let him hang and
Yeah. You want to try to get them to actually touch aside and try to wrap a little bit. You're really flexible there, which is great for a rider.
Yeah.
You want to have that flexibility of being able to get your legs wrapped around your horse, and you've got great flexibility there. So try to wrap them a little bit around him. You'll feel more balanced that way.
Yeah, I was feeling a little
Yeah.
loose-ish.
Yeah. So rather than, because then what happens when you try to just have them hanging is you'll tend to end up pinching at the knees a little bit rather than having your whole leg in contact with the horse.
Okay.
You'll feel much more secure with yourself if you just wrap your leg around him.
Okay.
And as long as they're not squeezing, you're not going to cue him for anything. Them touching his
Kinda.
sides is perfectly fine.
All right.
Okay?
Because it felt like I was maybe going to squeeze him if I did that.
No, he's perfectly fine with having contact with your lower leg. It's that you just don't want to have a tight calf where you're actually squeezing him.
Okay.
Okay? So the next thing I'm going to teach you is how to ask for the halt when we're walking. And it's actually the same as regardless of what speed we're going. And that's just squeezing with the upper half of your thigh. So you can think about if you just tighten the upper half of your thigh, it's hard to see something like that. But I don't use the lower half of my thigh muscle. It's just the upper half of the thigh that I squeeze him with. So you think about squeezing a tube of toothpaste with your upper thigh, and that will cause him to halt.
Okay.
Okay? And he knows that. I've taught him that. Okay? And the reason why we do that rather than the reins is that depending on what we're doing, we may not want to touch the reins. And we want to have the reins as the last resort. We ride the horse in contact with the bit as we advance, but we don't want to be touching the horse's mouth in a tight way to ask him for a halt when we can do it with our leg in our seat.
Okay.
So what you do is you tighten up that upper thigh and you kind of stop following the motion with your hips. So you just kind of hold that motion steady and tighten up the upper thigh. Okay? So when I get ready to halt this next time, I'm going to ask you to ask him to halt. Good boy, Surfer. Okay, so go ahead and ask for a halt. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Good. There you go. Okay.
He's being nice.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to turn around and change direction. So I'm going to make a small half circle here to change directions. Good. Just look up. There you go. Good. Good. Good adjustment where you brought your shoulders back a little bit. You were starting to tip forward a little bit. Just keep thinking about trying to have that straight line with your ear, shoulder, hip, and heel. Good. There you go. So now we have that downhill in a different spot now. Good. And you've tipped the correct shoulder forward. Perfect. Good. Sit up just a little bit. There you go. Good. Try to relax your shoulders a little bit. Keep breathing. You're getting a little tense.
I'm not breathing. I have a bad habit of doing that, no matter what I'm doing. When I'm working on a patient or something, I'm a dental assistant, so when I work on a patient, sometimes I'll just like, I'm doing a crown prep or something, I just all of a sudden I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah. Well, practice that deep breath thing. It'll really, that when you find yourself tensing up, do that, and you'll really find that it'll help your riding. Good, and ask for a halt. Good. That was all on you that time. I helped the first time, but the second time that was all on you. So how are you starting to feel?
Better.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to have you tighten up the reins a little bit so that you start controlling him a little bit more. So I want your hands to be more like here. Yep, same place on both sides. There you go. Good. And he's going to bring his head up. That's perfectly fine. That's where he needs to be so that you have a little bit more control. Good. Good. I'm going to ask him to halt. And
Exercise too.
I'm going to ask you have you do a couple of things. I want the elbows bent. There you go. Good correction on your hands. We want your hands to be up. Let me see something because your hands aren't quite what they need to be. Okay, so see how I just put my thumb on the rein? When I hold the reins, this part is correct, but you're putting your thumb like here. You want your thumb on the rein. That'll help so that you have it at the correct length. It's harder for the horse to pull the reins out of your hands that way. Pick your head up, Surfer. There you go. Good. So you want to have your elbows bent, and that's where, pull your shoulders back a little bit, relax, soften your back. Your back is starting to get a little archy. Yep, there you go. And think about just holding your core in. It's not so much having a tight core. It's just, see how this is how me relaxed, and this is me, how I would ride. I'm just pulling my core in just a hair, just so that you're aware of those muscles. That will help you stay in the saddle, and it'll help you when he starts to try to root. It'll help you hold your position and not allow him to pull you forward.
Okay.
Because you want him to come up to where you want him to be rather than him dictating that. So if he tries to stretch down and pull the reins out of your hands, you want to hold him up and say, no, this is where I want you to be. Okay? Good. Good, Surfer. You're being a good boy. Okay, so we're going to walk forward. Good, much better. Good. Just relax your elbows at your sides. There you go. There you go. How are you feeling?
Fine.
Good.
Very happy that he's being really nice.
Yeah. Okay, ask for a halt. Good. Okay. I'm going to start walking on the inside and giving him a little bit more of a lead. Not much, just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to think about looking up, keeping your body straight, straight back. Put your leg right about there. Okay, good. That's good. Good. Okay. He had gotten used to me walking where I was, so he's going, what are you doing now? Good. I'm going to push him out because he's kind of gotten away from the rail. Come on, Surfer. I want you out here. There you go. Good. Good. Your hips are getting much better. Good. Well, I've got him going at a faster walk now, and you're not getting loose. You're staying right with him. Your hips are going a little bit more side to side than I'd like, but it's okay. I'm not expecting perfection the first day. And I actually got a smile. That's a good thing. And ask for a halt. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Good. The reason why you had a little bit of a hard time that time is your leg is curling back. And so you weren't being able to be as effective with your thigh. Because what was happening is you were like this.
The whole leg.
And so you weren't being able to be effective with your thigh, because what happens when you do that is it kind of raises your seat off the saddle a bit. And so you can't be as effective in asking for that halt.
Okay.
That's why he kind of kept going. Good.
All right.
So yeah, your leg needs to be right there.
Okay.
Think about that. The girth is right in front of your leg now. And that's where you want the leg to naturally be, is right behind the girth. Okay? Further back, it's cueing him to do things.
All right.
Okay? Okay, so we're going to go straight across and go up to the rail. Good. Good. Relax your elbows a little bit. With them bent. There you go. Oh, raise your head a little bit. There you go. Good. Get over on the rail. He's confused because I'm walking on the side that he's not used to people walking on. Good. Bring your leg forward. Bring your leg forward a little bit. There you go. And ask for a halt. Better. There you go. Okay, we're going to turn around again. Okay. Good. Good. Bring your leg forward. There you go. Better. Good. Come on, Surfer. I want you on the rail. Not on top of me. No, over there. There you go. There you go. No, over on the rail. There you go. Look at that. There you go. Relax your shoulders and your elbows. You're getting tense again. Take a few deep breaths.
Okay.
Take a couple of deep breaths. You're starting to get tense again.
I don't feel tense, I don't think.
It doesn't take much for it to affect your position.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of if you tighten up, you know, when the first thing that happens when you start getting tight is your shoulders kind of
Yes.
curl up, and then you also get tight in your elbows. So it doesn't take a whole lot of tenseness in your body for it to really show.
Okay.
Okay? Once you get more comfortable in the position, you won't have to be thinking about it so much. It'll become muscle memory. And I mean, like for me, you know, I've been riding for so many years. I get on a horse, my body just falls into the right position, and I don't have to think about it so much. Part of why it only takes a little bit of tenseness in you for me to be able to see it is because you're having to think about every little thing
Right.
you're doing.
Right.
And so that tends to make us a little bit stiff when we're thinking about every motion of whatever body part we're thinking about. That just naturally puts us in a tense position. So it's not that you're getting nervous or tight about anything that's going on, but you're thinking so hard about everything you're doing that just naturally is going to put a certain amount of tenseness in you. And that's when your shoulders start to curl and your elbows tighten, and then pretty soon it's all the way down in your legs. So it's nothing negative.
Oh, no,
It's
no,
just
I hear ya.
just a reminding of
It is. I am
loosen your shoulders,
trying
loosen
to-
your elbows, to try, because what happens is when you get too tight is then you can't move with the horse. Because when you start getting tight in your hips, because that's the next thing that gets tight is in your hips, then you can't move with the horse, and then you start to bounce with him instead of going with the motion, and it starts slowing his walk down to where it's harder to move with him because you're not moving with him properly. So it's nothing negative.
No.
Just a reminder.